What's going on, everyone? So the NBA trade deadline is vastly approaching. We are 6 days away, and DeJounte Murray still seems to be the main target. Now, the Lakers lost Jared Vanderbilt, which sucks, so I would assume the Lakers are going to target a perimeter defensive wing. Now, if you get DeJounte Murray, his size, athleticism, wingspan, he's 6'5" with like a 6'10" wingspan, hyper athlete. He's a guy that was an all-defensive player not that long ago. It's still, it's been a while, but he could get back to form. Losing Jared Vanderbilt would make things tougher on him, of course, and him being the sole athletic guard. Also, you have Cam Reddish out for who knows how long. So it would be tough for the Lakers to not try to target a perimeter wing, try to get somebody on the defensive side of things, hopefully somebody that can shoot as well, Dorian Finney-Smith or Royce O'Neal, something along those lines. But D'Angelo Russell seems to be the guy that the Lakers are actively trying to trade. They have contract concerns. It's not about his play. He's been excellent for the Lakers this year, but they have concerns about having to either overpay him or him losing value, and they are teams that are interested in D'Angelo Russell. But the big question is, okay, outside of D'Lo, who else are the Lakers trying to trade? Who else are they trying to move? Austin Reeves, they only want to move if it's like an all-star, like bona fide lock all-star level player, or they could get some real like premier guy, obviously like superstar, something like that. The other is like Rui Hachimura, right? There's kind of conflicting reports about that. Like the Lakers aren't as they don't view Rui as Austin Reeves, but they prefer not to trade him. So we'll see. Time will tell. But they are actively trying to trade Gabe Vincent. We got reports today. The reports come per Jake Fischer that the Lakers have been including Gabe Vincent in trade talks with other teams. He says it's unclear which players the Lakers might be seeking if they do include Gabe Vincent in a deal. Shams of The Athletic cited that Atlanta Hawks guard DeJounte Murray as their top target. Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, Royce O'Neal of the Brooklyn Nets also receiving interest from the club. Now, here's the problem with Gabe Vincent. He's played 5 games this year. And in those 5 games, he hasn't been very good, right? He's like 2 of 17 from 3 on the season. Like he's literally shooting 11.8% from 3-point range this year in the 5 games that he has played. He is shooting 66.7% from 2-point range, so that's good. But he's only taking about 3 attempts per game. He's averaging 5.4 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound, and 1.2 steals in that time. Which, if you translate that, if he gets back to being a serviceable 3-point shooter, right? He had that year with Miami where he shot 37%. If he get back to that, he's easily probably like a 10-4 guy. 10-5 guy off the bench, which is perfect. That's what the Lakers need, right? Point of attack defensive guy, somebody that could defend the best player, best guard on the other team on any given night, and somebody that off the bench can provide some level of playmaking. He's not a great playmaker. He's a guy that can find the open man, right? Hit the occasional cutter, but he's not like D'Angelo Russell out there. The issue is like if he was Gabe Vincent with Miami, then I think that there would be suitors, right? He's still 27 years old. He's on a very good contract. If he's playing well and he was healthy and he was showing the things that teams are going to be looking for when it comes to a player like a Gabe Vincent, or maybe need some backcourt depth, or need, a backup point guard or something, right? Like things like that. If he was playing to that level, teams would be probably lining up and go, okay, yeah, he's got a good contract. He's got everything you could ask for, everything you could need. Let's maybe look to add him to the roster and unload some contract, or, maybe he could be included in a deal, right? As like, okay, well, we could use some veteran presence, right? There's a lot of these young teams, especially, that like these veteran guys that have kind of been there, done that can help mentor and play a specific role with the team. So I do think Gabe Vincent would have had trade value. The problem is I don't believe he has that now, right? Because if you're a team that's interested in Gabe Vincent, you're going to want to see him play significant basketball. You're going to want to see him play and not get hurt again, right? Like, what happens if he can't play this year? What happens if this becomes a persistent issue, right? Now, granted, he probably should have had the surgery to begin with. He tried to avoid it, thought he could come back, then he got the knee swelling and all that stuff, and then he tried to then correct it with the surgery, right? And at that point, it was like, okay, well, you should have just done what you needed to do to begin with, which I understand. I understand the frustrations in that regard. So there is the possibility that, like, hey, he bounces back, he'll be good, he'll be fine, and once he fully recovers, he'll be back to getting to the Gabe Vincent that we know and love. A guy that shows up big in the playoffs, can defend, can shoot, can play on ball, can play off ball, do a little things. But again, it's a big risk for another team. It's a big risk for a team that's like, okay, yeah, like we're going to take on Gabe Vincent, and you want us to give you players or salary or anything in that regard, right? Like, the only way I really see the Lakers trading Gabe Vincent is if it's for a player that is like, that maybe makes sense for the Lakers, but on maybe like a longer term deal and making slightly more money, right? To where, like, the Lakers, let's say, maybe throw in like a Gabe Vincent and Jalen Hood-Schifino or something like that to get to like a $13 or $14 million contract. It's like, well, we got this guy 4 years, $14 million, where we could go and we could get Gabe Vincent, and maybe he makes more sense, and we save $3-4 million a year, something like that, right? Like, that's something that could be a possibility. Or somebody that's like, okay, well, we have this guy who isn't a position of need, right? And we could use some point guard depth. We could use some point guard talent. So let's go and get the point guard and then give the Lakers this. It's kind of how I see it. It's tough, right? I would love to turn Gabe, like, if we could turn Gabe Vincent into, a real backup point guard that is proven, get me like a Tyus Jones, or if we could get a center, could you get like a Daniel Gafford, or, a Nick Richards or something like that? Could you get like a Nick Richards and a Miles Bridges or something, and give up some stuff, give up a couple seconds? Like, I would love something like that. If the Lakers could make something like that happen, that would, to me, would be a home run. Problem is again, it's just the value. Like, why would a team like Washington wanna unload these guys? Now, maybe a team like Washington, right, get a Tyus Jones. Maybe a team like Washington would look at it as like, okay, well, we're gonna lose Tyus Jones for nothing anyway, and we do need some type of guard, whether it's in the bench role or starting role. So maybe we could take him. He's cheap, got him long term, and then we could always flip him on a later date once he gets back to playing and being good again. Right? Like, that's definitely something that could happen. That's definitely something that I could see maybe a team looking at. Maybe not specifically Washington, but again, it's like, how much sense does that make for Washington? Now, it depends on what Washington's looking for. If they're just like, hey, let's try to stack some assets, we're not going to get a first for Tyus Jones. Teams are only offering a second, but if we take Gabe Vincent, maybe we get 2 seconds or 3 seconds, right? Now you get 2 or 3 seconds, take on Gabe Vincent, and end up giving up Tyus Jones or maybe a Daniel Gafford or something. Like, I don't personally see the Lakers turning Gabe Vincent into a real significant piece unless it's like a salary filler, right? Like, again, take a team like Chicago, right? Let's say the Lakers, I'm just using this as an example, but let's say the Lakers go to trade for Zach LaVine. Well, then at that point, Chicago kind of has no choice but to take Gabe Vincent because it's just so much salary. The Lakers would have to stack contracts, and they're not going to trade Austin Reeves. So you're going to have to trade Gabe Vincent, D'Angelo Russell, and a Rui Hachimura just to get to Zach LaVine. So I could see something where, maybe the Lakers look to go push all in, right? And you go get DeJounte Murray, and then it's like, okay, well, we want to get Gabe Vincent off the roster. Let's go look to trade Gabe Vincent, go get D'Angelo, or go get Zach LaVine, right? Let's go take D'Lo. Okay, we got DeJounte Murray. Let's go take D'Lo, Rui, Gabe Vincent, go get Zach LaVine. And now you got, when Jared Vanderbilt comes back, you'd have, Murray, LaVine, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Cool. I like it. Let's go. We're off to the races. Maybe it's something along those lines that the Lakers look at and go, okay, like, now we can unload Gabe Vincent. But outside of something like that, I don't see how the Lakers find a real trade partner for Gabe Vincent because he hasn't played all season. And look, I would love it, right? Because, I mean, at this point, if you can get anything, any type of just production, that's more than what you're getting right now from Gabe Vincent. Because, again, he's played 10 games or 5 games this year, right? So you're talking about a guy that he might as well have not have played at all this year. And when he has played, he's been pretty bad. So it's just like, if you could turn that into something, right? I like Gabe Vincent. Look, if Gabe Vincent can get back to Miami form and be the guy we saw in last year's playoffs and Miami's final run, then yeah, Gabe Vincent would be great, right? And I do think a lot of teams would be interested in taking on Gabe Vincent, right? And maybe you could make some moves. Or in that case, if he is Miami Gabe Vincent, you might as well just keep him, right? Because you need that point of attack defensive guard. You need that 3-and-D style defensive guard. You need somebody that's going to show up big and play bigger in the postseason that isn't afraid of the moment, right? So I definitely think that there would have been some value there if he played. Problem is he's not. And so I don't know what the Lakers are going to get. Look, in Rob I trust, so I'm sure if anyone can find something, it's him, right? So it'd be nice to get off of Gabe Vincent at this point. Again, I like him as a player. If he gets back to form on some other team, then good for Gabe Vincent. I'm rooting for him. I want to see him have success. I want to see everyone have success. But, he's not going to all of a sudden become a superstar or something like that, right? So, even if he was playing like he did in Miami, let's say he wasn't injury prone and he played all season and he was great for us, right? Gave us basically what Dennis Schroeder gave us. Yes, you need that. He's great. That's cool. But if you could get a upgrade or a more position of need or something like that, then yeah, you'd do that, right? So again, I don't think that he's a guy, even if he was healthy, is untouchable. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you like the idea of the Lakers trying to shop Gabe Vincent? Do you think no, just keep him? Do you think it just depends on what you get for him? Again, how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me to enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.